Hello, Becky here. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm trying to have a co-host here, but she's not listening at all. I'm in my front yard, which is very awkward because there's going to be a lot of people going by, and my neighbor has like a day home, so people will be coming to pick up their kids soon. This is like pickup time. I wanted to be in the backyard, but the sun is too extreme. I was going to do it at my front step, but my son was banging on the door and making a lot of noise. He's upset that mommy's taking time to herself. Everything is going wrong with this video. Tripod's broken, phone's out of storage. I got a new mic though, so hopefully you can hear me okay. And the background will be a little bit blurry so that you're not seeing the neighbors' houses and stuff. We're halfway through the year. Can you believe that? I'm so used to talking loudly. Hopefully you can hear me fine. Like this, I'm going to talk quietly because it's awkward. And the lighting is probably all over the place. I am covered in dappled sunlight because I am under my tree. You are propped up in my water fountain right now. Anybody else freaking out because it is halfway through the year? Anybody else feeling like you haven't read enough or haven't read enough good stuff? I have the statistics in the background right now. I'm not going to talk through them or anything like that. I just have them up because I was planning on doing a first quarter wrap up. I don't do monthly wrap ups because I just don't read enough and I don't like doing them. So I just don't do them. I don't have enough of an audience to justify doing them. So I was going to do a quarterly wrap up. Time just got away from me. So I was going to do like a 1/3 wrap up. Time got away from me. So we're doing a half a year wrap up, and I have currently read 26 books with 3 on the go as of me recording this right now on June 23rd. So, should I have read more books by this point? Yes, my goal is 75 books, and I have read just a little over. If I keep up this pace, I'll have read 52 to 55 books by the end of the year. I am not worried about it. I'm not stressed about it. It is what it is. I usually hit between 85 and 90 books a year, so I'm not too worried about it, even though the year has been a little bit slower. And I've just been a little bit more distracted and have a newborn baby who's not a newborn anymore. As of today, he is 9 months old. When this is coming out, he is crawling like a little Speedy Gonzales, like absolutely crazy. And he is starting to pull himself up and climb on things instead of normally babies like hold themselves up and then it's called cruising and they'll walk across like they'll walk along the coffee table or along the couch or whatever on the floor, and he just wants to like pull up and climb over things. So it is stressful. It's crazy. I just bought a thing for when he falls to protect his head, and yeah, it's wild having another baby. I didn't think it would happen, but it did. Here we are. So reading is just naturally slower for me, and I just want to be one of those booktube creators that tells you that it is okay. His music is so loud. He's like around the corner and I can still hear it. Let's just acknowledge that it's okay not to read 300 books a year. I know there are people out there who have already read like their 100th book of the year and it wasn't even halfway through their year yet and stuff like that, and that's awesome and that's great. I'm not saying that they're not reading those books. I'm not saying that they can't be reading those books. I know some people think like, oh, people are just like skim reading, or some people like literally just read the dialogue. Like, okay, sure, you do you. That's fine. Whatever. I'm not here to judge people's reading, but I think it's awesome that people can read 100, 200, 300 books a year. That's great. I'm not saying that they're not reading it, but let's just normalize like it's okay if you only read one book a month, one book a week, one book a day, whatever. But let's normalize being the content creators and readers and the kind of people who don't read 100 plus books a year. And it's okay to take your time. If you look at my statistics thing on Stargraph, it's like your average time of finishing a book is 12 days. A lot of people read a book a day kind of thing, not a book a day, like 365 books in the year, but they sit down and read a book in that day. So they might read one a week or 3 a week or whatever, but it takes them on average like a day, maybe two, to read a book. I cannot read that fast. There are people out there who this is their full-time job. This is their income. They are single, or they have no kids, or they have like one kid, or they might have like one older kid. They may or may not be married, whatever, but this is their full-time job. So of course they read a lot more. And I have, if you don't know, I have 5 children, including, like I said, the 9-month-old and a toddler. My other 3 are a little bit older, and it's a little bit easier to do this with them, but harder with the babies. And this is not my full-time job. Mothering is my full-time job, honestly. And those people who read a lot tend to be people who this is their full-time job. They don't have a bunch of children. They might have a couple children. Even if this was my full-time job, I wouldn't be reading like 300 books a year. I just cannot read that fast. Audiobooks is fine and I can go a little bit faster, but not quite like as fast as reading a book a day. I could never do that unless like I was listening at like 3 times speed on audio maybe, but that's just not who I am. So even if this was my full-time job and I had more time to dedicate to it, I could never read that fast, even without all the distractions of my life. Let's just normalize being readers who don't read lots and lots and lots of books. I need to make up some storage on my phone, so the angle's probably going to change a little bit, but I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully I made up enough storage to at least record this video. So let's get into this. This is halfway through the year. How are you doing? How's your year doing besides bookish stuff? My year's been alright. Nothing like spectacular, nothing super bad, nothing super amazing or anything like that. It's just been a year so far. As I said I was recording this the 23rd of June. On the 25th of June, I'm traveling to BC to visit my mom for her birthday. So I am very excited about that. I'm going with just the baby, and no one in BC on my mom's side of the family or anything like that has met the baby, and my mom hasn't met the baby yet. And we come home like 2 days before he turns 9 months. It's my mom's birthday, so we are going for that. So it'll be good to see her and she can see the baby and everything. It'll be nice. Won't be 100% break from the kids, but that's what it is. It'll be good. She's already lined up a babysitter for her birthday, so it's kind of funny. I'm going for 5 days, so I'm excited about that. And we are also planning on going to BC again later in the year, maybe August. We'll see. And I'm really, really hoping to do a trip this summer, sometime to Calgary, Alberta. Raylene from Books Unbound podcast just moved there in the last like 18 months or something, moved to Calgary, and I've been there to Calgary enough times. But she's talking about all these bookstores, and I've never really gone book shopping in Calgary just because I'm never there long enough to do so. And I want to do like a book shopping book trip just to Calgary. It's an 8-hour drive for me, so it is a long day. And I wouldn't be obviously coming home that same day. We'd be spending a couple of days in Calgary. Normally we go to Edmonton, and that is a 5-hour drive, 4.5-hour drive, and then Calgary's about 3 hours from there. But she's been talking about all these like amazing bookstores, new, used, all this fun stuff. So I'm really excited, and I'm like, that's it, I'm going on a book shopping trip. So there's a few things that I'm excited for if the finances and the time and everything works out, hopefully. It's just crazy, busy, And I struggle a lot with exhaustion, so it's hard for me. Like, I would go without my husband while he's at work, and sometimes we'll do things like I'll go to Edmonton and then he works, and then on his day off he'll like bus down, and then we'll pick up and then have like a longer time together, and that works out great. But I've just been struggling with exhaustion a lot, so that's hard for me to drive that far. Well, that's for a later time. We also have family camp coming up. That's a lot of fun. We've been going the past 4 or 5 years now, so that's been really good. We go Thursday and leave Sunday, and it's a Christian camp. So there's like time in the morning where it's like worship. They sing some worship songs and then have like a teaching for the adults, and the kids go to like a Sunday school type thing or just like a childcare for the younger ones. And then the rest of the time it's just like summer camp activities. There's a barge that we go out on. There's a pool you can go swimming on. There's archery. There's paintball. There's a king's swing, one of those giant swings you go on. I don't do it. It's terrifying. Zip line. It's just summer fun camp stuff. We've mostly just been, we have a baby. Like I said, he's 9 months, so it's just been watching him grow. And sorry, not used to the mic. It's really fun having older kids and watching them watch a baby grow up. It's so cute. And the baby was born with a heart murmur, so just a very tiny little hole in his heart. He wasn't born with it. It was discovered at 1 week old. So we had to go in November and then again in March to Edmonton to see the pediatric cardiologist. So we did that this year as well, and he's fine. Everything's good. There's no concerns or anything like that. During that trip, I also got a tattoo, a unicorn tattoo, that I haven't shown off on Instagram yet. I wanted to, but I've been waiting to name him her. This is my dinosaur I got in 2024, and his name is Malcolm. Comment down below if you know where I got that name from. This one doesn't have a name yet. This is a boy. The unicorn is a girl. Let me know what's a good name for a unicorn. I don't know. Let's jump into the tag. That's my update for the year. Oh no, I ripped my questions. So, got the questions here. I just Googled, ripped it a lot. I just Googled mid-year book freakout tag because I haven't seen anyone like posting theirs yet to see what questions people are answering this year. So these are the ones I found. I don't have a lot to talk about. I didn't grab all the books to show you. I just grabbed a couple here. Peaches. She's just chilling in the shade with me, not on camera. No, she's not going to join us. Okay. best book you've read so far this year. I wrote down a couple. One of my problems with reading, even as little as I do, how much I read, it is hard to remember everything, and my brain is just like feels like mush. But I just know, like, while I was reading it, how much I loved it. So that's what we're going based off of, just the vibes of the books I read as I was reading them. So How to Read a Book by Monica Wood, I really enjoyed this year. It was a literary fiction. It wasn't super like exciting or thrilling or mysterious or anything like that. It was just a literary fiction, but I find that I'm liking those more and more. They can be a bit slow and boring sometimes, but I enjoyed this one. It is about a girl who hit somebody with their car when she was 18 and killed that person. She got charged with manslaughter, and she got like 5 years. So she got, oh, she's drinking my coffee. She got 5 years manslaughter for killing a pedestrian, and she is about to get out of jail. Like, she's served her whole sentence, kind of thing. So we're following three perspectives. There is the husband of the wife that was killed. There's a lady who is running like a book club in the prison, and then the girl who was in prison and getting out, and how their lives intersect and everything. And it was just good. I don't know. I just enjoyed it. Now Peaches is really not in the video. There's a beetle. I also really, really liked How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates by Shaylee Thompson. So I'm looking down at my questions and answers. That is a romance slasher. Who knew those two things would be put together and that I would enjoy it? I'm not a slasher person. I don't read a ton of horror, but when I do read horror and enjoy horror, it is more like the horrors of humanity, not like actual scary, like paranormal or like zombies or monster horror or body horror. Like, no, thank you. That would like actually freak me out. I read last year Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang, I believe, and I really liked that one, but it was gross. And yeah, it was a good book. Everyone's reading her new book. I can't remember the name of the author. Everyone's reading her new book. I haven't picked it up because it's just not my typical read, and I only read it because of the Literally Dead book club. I have a really hard time saying that word, literally, for some reason, in context of the book club, anyways. But it's just not my type of book. Like, there was some stuff in there that I was like, oh, that's really gross. But How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates is slasher, and that's not like the kind of movies and stuff when it comes to horror. I don't read or watch horror either, especially watch it. I find watching horror can be like actually scary. There's like jump scares, or like monsters like the zombies and stuff just are really, really creepy, and it will like give me nightmares, just the visual of them, plus jump scares. And I just don't like it. I'll like actually have nightmares about it, kind of thing. Reading horror is different, and I find it more disgusting to read. Peaches, come here, back up, back up, back up. Let's see your pretty face, not just your big back. Your big, gross, dirty back. You need a bath. The kid got like honey on her. I find reading horror is very gross. Ugh. Makes your skin crawl, kind of thing. But How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates, I read for the book club and really enjoyed it. It was fun. And it's a little different reading a slasher because you're not like actually physically seeing the blood like spraying across the room. You're not seeing like the throats actually being sliced, kind of thing. So I actually really enjoyed that one. That one was a really fun one. A manga I really enjoyed this year was Cat Plus Gamer, Volume 1 by Wataru. Hey, there's no water in the fountain. Come here. Wataru Nadatani, translated by Zach Davison. And that was just a manga book that I read because it had the plus symbol in it, Cat Plus Gamer, for keyboard keys prompt for the buzzword cover challenge. And that one was just really cute. And if you own a cat and you know what it's like to have a cat, this person, she's a gamer and she's never had a cat before, and this cat just like shows up in the parking garage of where she works, and she's like, sure, I'll take it home, whatever. And then she's like, I have no idea how to deal with a cat. And every once in a while you actually see a chapter from the cat, like what the cat's thinking, and it just feels like so accurate, and that's like actually what a cat would be thinking. But she's like, I have no idea how to raise this cat. And then she's very much a gamer and really into like these games where you like start at level 0 and you build up your character and everything like that, and then sometimes you can do battles like with other people and whatever. And she decides to like gamify owning a cat, and like, okay, the cat's bored, the cat's this, the cat's that, what can I do, how can I level up my cat parenting and level up this cat kind of thing. So that one was just really cute and fun. And if you're looking for a cute manga or need to read more translated fiction or something, I don't know if I'll continue on with it. It is cute and I would. I just have so much other stuff to read right now. And the one manga I've been keeping up with as best as I can is Spy Family. And I don't dislike manga. Obviously, I read it, but I just don't have time to read a bunch of it. Best sequel so far? I don't think I've read a single sequel so far this year. So that's an easy one. New releases you haven't read yet but want to. So these are releases that have come out already this year, obviously. So I have heard a lot of good things about My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney. I haven't read the new Alice Feeney yet, but I really want to. I've read a few of her books and I think they're pretty good, and there's always like a shocking twist that I don't pick up on, so I'm excited to read that. And as I was answering these questions, I was in the middle of reading Yesteryear. So this is a new release that I really enjoyed. I have since finished it, and I have a whole vlog coming out hopefully soon called Alphabet Soup, so watch for that. And I talk ad nauseum about this book, but that doesn't actually answer the question because I've now read it. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year, so I went on chapters and looked at their most anticipated releases coming up. And The Unknown by Riley Sager, which comes out August 4th. I really liked Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. Everyone hated that book. I loved it. I get scared easily. There was like a paranormal feeling to Riley Sager's book, Middle of the Night. And Riley Sager's really good at making things sound paranormal, look paranormal, but there's always like an actual explanation for it. But there was just a few things in it that just like gave me the heebie jeebies if that was happening. I think the reason why it scared me because I was like, if I was in this situation, I would be like, nope, I'd be out of there so fast. And was it a perfect book? No. Did I enjoy it? Yes. And then last year he had With a Vengeance, which people really enjoyed a lot more. And I thought it was so boring. So I don't know. I typically like Riley Sager. I've done a few videos on Riley Sager books and stuff. So I'm excited to read The Unknown. And normally his books come out in July, so this one's a little bit of a later release with an August 4th. So that's interesting. And then I also wrote down Sea of Charms, a spell shop novel by Sarah Beth Durst. So the hardback comes out July 28th of this year, but then the paperback, which is what I'll be waiting for, comes out January 19th, 2027. And I have not read the first spell shop book yet. So I don't know if this is an anticipated release or not, but I have a Whipathon. If anyone is interested, it is a work in progress, and a couple times a year, we just did it for the first time in March. I launched this whole like Whipathon thing, and it can be for anything that is a work in progress. It's for crafting, is like what I started it for, but if you're a writer, if you do crochet, cross stitch, sewing, any work in progress that you are doing, it can even be used with reading books and other readathons as well. There's no like reading prompts. It's not a readathon, but you can use it as well. In there, we're talking about like currently reading and good books and stuff like that, and they have talked about the spell shop and how much they enjoyed it. And I actually have it on my list to read this month, which I'm not going to get to. I'm just realizing that there's only 7 days left of of this half of the year. There's 9 days left, but of this month, there's only 7 days left, and I don't read fast enough. So I won't have time to get to it, but I have that as a tentative. I'm excited for it, but I'm not going to get the hardcover because I have the paperback of the first one anyways, and that comes out January 19th of 2027. So my phone is yelling at me again because of low storage. I never have enough storage on this phone. So I'm going to record a little bit later. Maybe when the sun's gone down a bit more, I'll go into the backyard. It'll be a little bit easier. And I will talk about the rest of these questions. And hopefully this tag, which should be like 10 minutes, just ask the questions. But this is a chatty catch up with a tag included in it. So I am going to run inside and clear more space on my phone, as always. And I will see you in a new location in about a half a second for you. So it's been several hours. As you can see, I'm in the backyard now. The sun is way over there. I took my mic off. I've used it for one video, which was the first half of this video. And my daughter looked at it, put it down. Now it's missing. My son threw it into the backyard somewhere. Not even the backyard, it's an area kind of between the front and back. And we found the little fuzzy part that goes on top of the mic, but we cannot find The dongle part that is the Bluetooth thing that connects to my phone was attached to the mic, and so now they're both missing. So I can't even use the other mic for the phone. So needless to say, I'm really frustrated. I've also had to take my main shirt off because my son got mad at our daughter earlier and threw his smoothie bowl across the house and splattered me with smoothie. So cheers. So I'm just gonna speed run through the rest of this tag video because that's all I got time for. Biggest disappointment of the year. So I pulled out the book for that one. The Geo Magician, actually, which is super disappointing, and I'm very upset about it. I'm gonna be attacked by mosquitoes the whole time I'm out here, of course. I got my bookmark in there. I always lose my bookmarks and then find them in books randomly. So I absolutely love this cover. This is like my favorite cover of the year so far. It's hardback. There's no dust jacket on it at all. It's very like buttery and smooth and purple. I love the purple pinkish stuff. So I bought this full price, $40 Canadian. Pre-ordered it because it was for the Besties Book Club over on Kayla's membership, Books with Lala. So what sold me on this book and buying it full price for the membership book club was the fact that our main character, Mary Awning, finds an ancient egg that hatches in her hands, and it is a baby pterodactyl. I love dinosaurs and like a little pet companion. This just sounded absolutely adorable. Kayla gave this like 5 out of 5 stars. And I was reading it and I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna hate this. And we don't usually align on things, but I felt like there are books that she likes that are more slow and that people would call boring. But with this one, I did find it a little bit boring, but it wasn't that it was slow. It was more the fact that it felt like there was descriptions missing from it that should have been there. There's like the climax of the book. There's this scene. It's like an alternate history and people in the world all have magic, but it's very limited. You can only use like so much at a time. You need to have like a relic, something that will hold your magic, and you like wear it against your skin to like charge it up kind of thing. And there is a scene where Mary needs to use a lot of magic and she needs to pull it from something else. And it's like this big showdown, everything's happening, climactic scene. And she's just like, I pulled a lot of magic and it worked. And we just quickly moved on from it. And I was like, what is happening here? Like, why is there not like way more description for this scene? I didn't hate the book. I would say it was more like a 3, like a 2.5 to a 3. It's a duology. I don't know if we'll read the duology, like the second book for the book club, like we did in the past with Emily Henry. They read all 3 books. I was bored by Emily Henry. I don't know why. That should have been cute too. I tried to listen to it twice. I just didn't care. I got not even halfway through. I can't remember. I was listening to it as an audiobook, and I really absolutely loved those covers as well, and I wanted to love the story so bad. But in that case, I listened to it as an audiobook first, or tried to, from the library, so I didn't spend $40 on it. I want to give this another chance because people like loved it. There was also a lot of religion in it, religion and magic, which was really interesting, and the magic was part of like God's gift to humanity, and religion like Christianity. And I thought that was really interesting, and I thought like people are gonna hate this because of the religion, but no, that's not why people hated it or not. I was not expecting that to be in there, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna like it even more. And there was some interesting stuff around it and how they work out magic and religion together and things, and like how God gave people magic and whatever. But it wasn't like, I don't know how it fell so short, and I'm so upset, and this was the most disappointing one. Am I gonna get the second one? I want to because the books are so beautiful, and I don't know what the second one's gonna look like, but I don't know. I'm gonna try and get it like maybe from the library and listen to it first or something, and then if I like it, buy it. Biggest surprise of the year. So this is more like it surprised you that you liked it, not so much like a shocking twist. How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates, like I was talking about earlier. That is not a genre, like a slasher story is not something I would normally read. So I was surprised by how much I actually really enjoyed that one. I also listened to Annibot by Sierra Greer. That is about like an AI companion, girlfriend, person in this world. You can also have like an AI cleaner bot or like a nanny, and the kind of bot that Annie is the girlfriend companion one. And I thought it was just going to be like a lot more explicit, and there was explicit stuff in it. That's definitely part of her programming and what she was designed for and what the main character had her for. I'm trying to remember his name. It was like Daniel or something. And I thought it was just going to be more focused on that, but it was actually pretty interesting. I read that for the library's book club, and it sparked some really interesting conversation as well. So I'm glad I read that one, and it was surprising because I thought it was just going to be like AI sex doll, and it was just going to be explicit, but it was a lot more nuanced, and really interesting conversations came out of it. And then I also put down Audition by Katie Kitamura, which was another book for the Besties book club. It was really short. It was like a 5-hour read, and I could not get it in time for the book club. So I tuned into the beginning of it, and Kayla was talking about how much she loved it. And it's a really weird book, and it's kind of one of those you love it or you hate it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to duck out now before you get into the spoilers and wait until I listen to the book. So I listened to the book, and it was weird. It was surprising, kind of like a shocking, surprising twist. The book really takes a huge turn, like a 180. There's like part 1, part 2, and it's like 2 different books kind of thing. And it was weird. And I went back and listened to the live show after, and yeah, there was a lot of theories about what happened in this book, what was real, what wasn't real, why things were happening, whatever. And it was another one of those really, like, it was like $40 for this like 5-hour tiny little book. So I'm glad I didn't spend the money on it, but I liked it. It was weird. I'm glad it was a short book, let's put it that way. But it was good, and it was interesting, and it really makes you think and trying to figure out what is happening. Favorite new author? So that can be a debut author or a new to you author. So I didn't really know how to answer this. I have read a lot of new authors this year, new to me at least, and a few of them have been debuts as well. And I remember a couple years ago it was Emily Henry. The year after that, or 2 years after that, it was Abby Jimenez. And those were like really clear, obvious favorite new authors. This year I was really struggling to think of how I wanted to answer this. So I wrote down, even though I didn't write it down as like one of my favorite books, how many flies are in there? I wrote down Best Offer Wins, another Literally Dead book club, and that was by Marissa Cashino. And it wasn't my like all-time favorite book. It was really interesting. It was very readable. I really wanted to know what was going to happen. I was shocked. I was appalled. I was angry, like all the emotions reading this book. So maybe it should be up higher on the list. I don't really rate books. If you've watched any of my videos, I talk about that. But I would definitely be curious to read more from her, Marissa Cashino. I would definitely be interested to read more from her because the book was very readable. It wasn't confusing, and it did surprise me and shock me and make me angry and all of the things. So yeah, I would definitely read from her again. And then I really, like I said, liked Yesteryear, so I would definitely check out more, depending on the premise, of course, from Carol Clark Burke. And maybe even, what was the one I was saying earlier? How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates by Shaylee Thompson. I would definitely read more from her as well. Newest fictional crush? What character stole your heart in the first half of the year? So this year, I don't think I've read a lot of romance, actually. So usually the fictional crush is like one of the guys from the romance books, and it's just like, oh, he is such a good boyfriend. But they're all perfect boyfriends, right? So I don't have a crush, but if you read the like description of the question, what character stole your heart in the first half of the year? I put Ajax the pterodactyl from The Geomagician. He doesn't play a huge part in it. He doesn't have the biggest personality ever, but the little glimpses that you get of him and how he interacts with Mary and the other people and stuff, like she hatches him, or he hatches in her hands anyways, and he's very like attached to her. He's a bird dinosaur and is like, you're my mom, I hatched, I saw you first. So he's very like loving and protective of her, but then other people try to interact with him and stuff, and he's like biting them and whatever, and she's just kind of like laughing about it because she's like, that's my boy kind of thing. So I just really enjoyed Ajax. There's one love interest in here, and he wasn't my favorite as a love interest. That's another thing, like in here it's Fade to Black, which is what I prefer, but I just wasn't feeling the chemistry between them as much. It is a second chance romance, and then I don't know, it's hard to tell, like, is he a good guy or a bad guy, or is he just in it for himself? Does he just care about himself? I don't know, it's a little confusing. But Ajax definitely was a favorite character. Newest favorite character, so that one was a crush. Who stole your heart. He stole my heart. So I put my newest favorite character as Max. So I was saying earlier that my son's name is Max, and I call him Maximinimum. And this character, this is a graphic novel that I saw when I was looking at books on the chapter's website. It's called Max a Little Axolotl. And I just thought it was adorable, and I was like, I need to buy this. I even marked this as a book I read because there is, like, it's a full-on graphic novel with, I mean, it's a kid's graphic novel, but there is definitely reading in this. Some kids' books I don't count as being books I read, but this one, I was like, I'm reading all this text, I'm marking it as read. Like, it's a full-on book here. I always say Maxolotl. And I said I was going to go add an extra X to all the Maxes in here, all the times his name shows up, because our son's name is spelled with 2 X's. But I just thought it was really cute and fun and has that tie of being my son's name and being Max a Little, because he's a little tiny axolotl, Max a Little Axolotl, and my son is little mini Max. So I had to mention this one. A book that made you cry. So I don't cry a lot at books. I do sometimes, but not a lot. But this year, the books that should have made me cry or that came close to making me cry, I read Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. And I read that for the Besties readathon of Read Your Heart Out, which if you follow Kayla, she's doing the emotions vlogs, reading different books that made you feel different things. And Pachinko was on there for books that made somebody cry. And the only reason why I picked it wasn't because I wanted to read the emotion of what made people cry. It's because I just did a quick scan of all the books that were on the lists of all the emotions and picked one that I've had for a while already physically on my TBR. And I did not cry while reading it, but it is definitely heavy and sad. And then also The Shack by William Paul Young. That was the first book I read this year, and that is a story about a guy who loses his youngest daughter. She is taken by a serial kidnapper, killer person, and it is very tragic and very sad, and I've read it several times, and I did not cry reading it, but it's a very heavy story as well. So those are 2 that should make you cry, or that are heavy, sad topics. A book that made you happy. What was a pure, joyful, or comforting read for you? So I put down Cat and Gamer Volume 1, because as I was saying earlier, it was just super cute and fun, and this girl who knows nothing about, oh, there's a big giant bus out there that's like idling right now, who knows nothing about raising a cat, gets this tiny little kitten and has to learn how to raise a kitten and all the quirks that come with that. And it was just really cute, and it definitely made me happy. Most beautiful book you have acquired this year? The Geomagician, again. It's not sprayed edges or anything like that, nothing special that way, but I just love it. It's one of my favorite covers. So even though it wasn't a 5-star, I'm definitely keeping it. And the last question, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? So what are your top priorities on your TBR list? Everything. I say this every year, it's all of them. So I am doing a series on my channel called Alphabet Soup. I am currently in the middle of filming and editing that vlog. So one of the books on there would be Outdoor Kids. It's about raising outdoor kids in an indoor world. That's a nonfiction one. Read Between the Lies by Jessie Q. Sutanto is one that I do not have on my physical TBR. Outdoor Kids I do. Unseen by Molly Burke is one I have on my physical TBR. Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man. That is another one that is not on my TBR, my physical TBR, but hopefully I can get that one from the library. That one is also, I believe, by Jessie Q. Sutanto. The Anxious Generation is another nonfiction book. I did a video a few years ago about all the nonfiction books on my TBR that I want to read really bad, and most of those are probably still unread, but I could probably do a whole new one. But The Anxious Generation is just kids growing up with like smartphones and all the technology and internet and everything, social media, that I really want to get to. Our pastor actually preached a series on that one that was really interesting. That was a little while ago now. I mentioned, okay, I said Outdoor Kids, and then I wrote down Raising Outdoor Kids in an Indoor World. I think that's the same book. I probably just messed up what book. And then I also want to do a clean romance summer vlog, but I don't have any books. I have one book for that right now that I got for Mother's Day. It's called What the Focaccia? What the Focaccia? That bread. So that one looks really cute and interesting. But a bunch of clean romance books that I want to read. And many, many, many more. What was the other one I said I had to read? The Spell Shop. I need to read The Spell Shop. Yeah, that's the first half of the year in books for me. What have you been reading? How's your year been going? What is your goal for how many books you want to read, or pages, or whatever your reading goals may be? And are you accomplishing them? How's it going? Let me know. What's your favorite book so far this year? What is the most beautiful book you have bought in this year? Leave your comments down below. Let's chat, let's talk, and let me know if you do the mid-year book freakout tag so I can go check it out. And I will see you in another vlog very soon, hopefully. Bye!